Hi guys, today's video is all about goal setting. Hi guys, I'm going to talk today about goals. It's a good time of year to be setting your goals. I never like doing it in January because January is a pretty miserable month. And I always think trying to establish things to do in January is pretty bad. People just want to get through that month, get through the poor weather. If you're part of a CrossFit affiliate, then also you'll just finish the Open. So you'll establish your strengths and weaknesses, and this is the perfect time now to start building a plan for the next few months as to what you want to achieve this year. Now, when you do some goals, the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need some data. You're going to need to know where you're at right now. It's no good establishing goals that are completely, miles away and trying to do them in 6 months. You need to know where you're at right now. So the more data you have, the better. We generally don't do any goal setting here with people until about 3 months in, because we want to know where they're at right now so we can actually establish some realistic goals. Once you've got that data, and the more data you have about yourself, the easier it's going to be. Then you're going to start thinking about, okay, what do you want to achieve over the next few months? And we're going to talk today, a simple one we're going to talk about is doing a pull-up. Now, generally, once you've got your initial goal, so let's say your initial goal is, one of your long-term goals is establishing, doing a pull-up, you're then going to work on how you're going to break that into smaller and smaller goals. So that's where the data comes in, because if you're, at the moment, not able to do one pull-up, you need to know, okay, how far away from that pull-up am I? So you've got to think, if you're at a Globo gym, a big gym, and you're using a pull-up machine where you've got weighted assistance, then it's quite easy. You look at the weighted assistance, you can say, okay, I'm getting 40 kilos of assistance, I want to bring that down. If you're working at a CrossFit box and training there, you're going to be probably doing banded pull-ups or partner-assisted pull-ups, so it's a little bit less tangible in there. That gives you a start point. The other thing you can look at is some of your other rowing exercises. So with a barbell, you can look at what your bent over row number is. Where are you at that now? How far away from being able to pull your body weight in a horizontal position are you? So if you can do a horizontal row at your body weight, you're not going to be too far away from being able to do a pull-up. If you can't, then you may be a little bit further away than that. Then when you've done that, you're going to look at how we're going to turn those smaller goals into plans. So say for example, we think, okay, to get a pull-up, obviously we're going to need to increase the strength of our pulling power with our upper arms, so our biceps, and our upper back as well. Okay, so we've got to build a plan as to how we're going to develop that. What we're going to do first of all with a pull-up is you're going to need to work on biceps, upper back. So we're going to think, okay, we need to implement some of that into our training. So first of all, if you're coming to somewhere where you're training on a regular basis, like a CrossFit box, maybe look at the days, if there's a structure to the program, look at the days when they're doing upper body and make sure you're attending those days. Make sure also you're doing all of the programming that day. So for example, here at CrossFit Chiltern, we have extra credit on every day. So make sure you're doing extra credit, because extra credit often involves upper back, things like pull aparts and bicep curls, hammer curls, banded hammer curls, all those sort of movements as well. Make sure you're implementing those into your training. In addition, what else are you going to need to do pull-up? You're going to need grip strength. So are you doing loaded carries? Deadlift training is obviously good, but carries is going to give you that that grip strength over a longer period of time, over a longer duration. If you can't hang on the rig for more than 10 seconds without your grip strength failing, then you're not going to have that strength passing on to being able to pull yourself up and over the rig. And you're only going to be able to one pull-up anyway if you're going to hold on for 10 seconds. So grip strength is really important. So start thinking about your plan. I think something like a pull-up, you're looking at probably training 2 to 3 days a week, doing some extra work to help you towards that goal. What else is going to help you in your pull-up is what is your body weight, okay? Because obviously, if your body weight is higher than it should be, then it's going to be harder to pull that up, okay? Someone who weighs 20 kilos less than me is going to find a pull-up much easier than I am. If someone weighs 20 kilos more than me, he's going to find it much harder than it is for me. So look at your body weight, okay? Is that something you can make a change to? Is that something you want to make a change to? Because if it is, then that's obviously going to be one of the steps you need to take towards your pull-up. So then you're going to look at building a goal with your body weight as well, and the smaller goals towards that. So we've got to break the big goal down into some smaller goals. So it might be to, in terms of smaller goals, increase the amount of weight you can bend over a row, increase the duration you can hang freely from the rig. There's a quite a simple smaller goal. See if you can go from a banded pull-up to a slightly lighter banded pull-up. The one thing that building a pull-up you need to do is definitely work those muscle groups in isolation as well as just doing pull-up rehearsal. If you're just doing pull-up rehearsal, you're always going to be working at your limit. You need to be working inside the limit, otherwise you're just going to get yourself some elbow problems as well. So look at breaking that down into smaller parts. And give yourself a time scale for each of those goals as well. So think, okay, at the moment, when I'm doing the hammer curls, I'm doing it with, let's say, 10 kilos. I'd like to be able to get to the point where I can do 12 kilos in the next 4 weeks on the hammer curls when I'm doing those in my once a week part of my training towards my pull-up, and so on and so forth. So break those goals down into some smaller goals so that you can actually have successes. Because if you've only got one goal doing a pull-up, and then you've got no other goals before then, you're not going to have success maybe for 1 year. Okay, depends how far away you are, maybe 2 years. So depending on how far away you are, that goal is going to be a long time before you get some success. So you need those smaller goals to build towards that as well. And then those goals need to get even shorter in terms of your duration, in terms of the time scales. So you've got to think about, okay, once you've got all your plan in place, your goal, let's say a weekly goal, would be to make sure that you complete your training for those 3 sessions that week, or those 2 or 3 sessions that week, that is going to supplement the rest of your training to help you get towards that goal. And an even shorter term goal from that is daily, to make sure that you're going to train that day. If you train that day and you complete all of those numbers, you hit the numbers you want to do on your training, then that's a goal ticked off. And it could be on a rest day or on a day where you're not doing your pull-up training. It might be just to work on your grip strength. It might be a day where you're going to work on your core strength as well, because the ability to sort of hold yourself stable is going to help. Or it could be a diet-related goal. So it could be, okay, I'm going to make sure that today I'm going to stay inside 1800 calories, or I'm going to make sure I get my protein allowance. But you need to make sure that you've got a goal each day, set yourself a little target in the morning, what you want to do, and just tick away each one of those goals. Then you complete your weekly goal, keep ticking those away, complete your monthly goal, and so on and so forth. You're going to take yourself on that journey towards where you need to be. And that applies, obviously we talked about pull-ups today, that applies to any movement you want to do in the gym. Generally, I prefer a physical achievement as a goal rather than a weight loss goal. People can have that on the side as well, but I'd rather focus on what you can do and the weight loss as a smaller supplemental goal alongside that. And also, I talked before about weight loss, think more about fat loss rather than weight loss, because sometimes you'll be training really hard, you'll be building muscle, your weight may not change even though you might be losing fat. So have a look at that if you are doing body composition goals. So just to summarise for you, first thing when you've got a goal is you need to know something about where you're at the moment, you need data. Second thing is you need to think about what you really want to achieve. So that's a long-term goal. Break those down into smaller goals, build a plan, and then build those plans and put set some weekly and daily targets as well. Things that you're always going to give you constant successes. Good thing is, if you're a member of CrossFit Chiltern, you can have a goal setting session with us for free. We love that because we love people to be working towards targets. It helps keep our clients motivated, our athletes motivated, and that's only going to see better results for us and a better atmosphere here in the gym. So if you want to do that, I'll be opening some availability up for those sessions over the next few weeks. So get yourself booked in and work with myself, and we can build some goals for you. If you're not a member of CrossFit Chiltern, come and join, or come and get some personal training, and we can do the same. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found it useful. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on Facebook.